Cat Huntoon here from Technique Junkies. Today I'm going to be making a beautiful glimmer card using the Technique Junkies Ito peonies, and that's what they look like. We're going to be using Nuvo Glimmer Paste, and I'm using pink opal in this instance. We're going to be using the Nuvo Glitter Markers, some Stays-On ink, and a couple of basic tools. We are starting with just a plain white piece of paper. I am using Nina Classic Crest Solar White 80-pound cardstock in this project. It's start by stamping this in a stamp positioner. Okay, now I have a nice stamped impression of the Ito peonies, and I'd like to recommend to you that you actually keep the rubber stamp in your stamp positioner and don't move it, because if we need to go back after this and over stamp over what we've done, you can still do that if you leave it in your stamp positioner and you've used the corners as your basis. So as a tip, when you first get your Nuvo Glimmer Paste, what you want to do is take a little Vaseline and put it around the outer edges of the rim, and if you have an opportunity, the inner edges of the top rim. And what that does is, if the product dries out a little bit in the rim, your jars will still be easy to open. We are using Nuvo's Pink Opal, the Glimmer Paste in Pink Opal, 961N, and this is what it looks like. Now on black paper, this has an iridescence, it has a green iridescence, but we're putting it on white so it looks pink. Sorry about hitting that there. And what I'm going to be just doing is using a cheap foam brush just to keep my fingers somewhat neat this morning. So I'm going over this whole thing, and I'm just going to cover this. I'm going to get a nice coverage of the pink opal with the sponge. Mention a couple of things. I've watched some videos recently of people using glimmer paste, and they say let it dry overnight. Well, this, let me tell you, you do not need to dry this product overnight. This product is a very fast drying product. In fact, I'm going to stop and go and wash my brush out right now so I can reuse this brush. Otherwise I'll be throwing it out. This dries very, very fast, and we're going to be using a heat tool to get a nice good dry on this. So I'm going to stop and wash my brush and be right back. Okay, so now that's nice and glittery, and as you can see, after I brought it, it's rock hard. That glitter's not going anywhere. My hands are nice and clean, and this is not going to get all over the place. So what I'm going to be doing next is coloring this image, and we're only going to be using this portion of the image, but I'm going to be coloring it with the Nuvo Glitter Markers. And a couple of things about these markers. This is a 3-pack of markers called Northern Lights, and although these colors on the packaging look absolutely so pretty, what you really want to look at when you look at these markers is the markers themselves. They each have a little window here and an end tube. This is a clear window, so that's what it's going to look like when you see it on the paper, and they're so pretty. And again, this is a stay put color. When this color dries, it stays where you put. So I'm just going to be taking these and coloring right on here, and I'm just doing a rough coloring for now because this is a water-based marker. I'm going to be moving the color around a little bit with water after I add the second color. So I'm going to stop talking now and speed this up for you. Okay, so that's pretty much where I want this color. And now I'm going to my second color, and again, remember this is just a rough coloring, and I'm going to be going back over this to blend it with water. So if it's not perfect, I'm not freaking out about it. Also, I am really following the lines of the stamp. I really like the stamp because it does have lines you can follow, and you don't have to be an expert at coloring. You can just do a rough coloring over it. Okay, so the purple's where I want it, and now I'm just going to add some green to the center portion. Whoop, that's not green. Now I'm just going to add some green to the center portion. That's how I want it right now, but take a water brush, because these are water-based markers, and just go over the markers. And because this is sitting on top of something that's not ultra absorbent, since I put the glimmer paste down, it sits on there long enough and is active long enough for me to do this. So I am putting it on there. If I get a little bit too much water, I can just go through and kind of wipe it down a little bit. And I'm just going to go through and blend these colors together. And now I'm just going to dry it with a heat tool to set this color onto this before I go on to the next step. If I chose to, I could put this back into the MISTI and use the stamp positioner and use the corner and stamp over this to get more deeper black lines, but I really love the way this looks. So what I will do next is just go through and cut off the excess of what I don't want using the scissors. I'm going to cut that off camera so you don't have to watch it, but basically this is all I'm doing. So I'll be putting this card together for you so that you can see it completely finished. That concludes this tutorial for using Nuvo Glitter Markers and Nuvo Glimmer Paste to create a beautiful shimmering, glittering background that stays put. That's perfectly dry and all those colors are on there. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe to the Technique Junkies YouTube channel. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you next time.